scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, Aces and Eights.
Well, here they come. Destruction on the mind of the gang that has literally taken over TNA and Impact Wrestling. Aces and Eights set for six-man tag team action. Wes Briscoe in the middle, flanked by the Director of Chaos, Doc, as well as Nux. And here we go. This has to be right up the alley of Aces and Eights. Hardcore action, tag team style, and hardcore justice.
I imagine running into these three in the dark alley at midnight. You got Nux, you got the Director of Chaos, you got Wes Briscoe, the numbers game, they're the masters of it. Three of the members of Aces and Eights about to compete here one night only. And I don't know if they are aware or at least fully aware of what they're walking into.
Going to be interesting to see who the opposition is going to be. I think we know 2/3 of the team. Speaking of James Storm and Magnus, but who will they pick as their partner? And keep in mind, this match is going to be contested under elimination rules.
And their opponents, introducing first, Magnus.
In terms of opposition for Aces and Eights, you know that Magnus has nothing but revenge and payback on his mind. It's been several times since Aces and Eights arrived on the scene here in TNA, where Magnus was sidelined as a result of brutal attacks.
No question about it. It's for him a matter of revenge. And with so much history, so much in the past between Magnus and Aces and Eights, this native of Kingsland, England, wants to do some damage in a big way in this six-man tag team matchup.
Sorry about your damn luck.
And his partner from Leapers Fork, Tennessee, the Cowboy, James Storm.
Certainly one of the things that the Cowboy James Storm has in common with his tag team partner, the battling Brit Magnus, is that opportunity for payback against Aces and Eights. Cowboy with a little pre-match swipe of that 16-ouncer at ringside. You know, that's going to get him in the right frame of mind.
Well, I think he was in the right frame of mind before he came out here, as a matter of fact. But the one thing the Cowboy knows for sure is he knows how to fight. And he has enlisted Magnus as his tag team partner.
Yeah, but who's the third man?
You know, we were called up saying that the Aces and Idiots wanted to have a six-man tag. Well, I see that you guys rode your little Hot Wheels in here, and we went out and we found us a partner. I know. You ain't seen him yet. Now, this guy, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to know, this guy is hardcore. This guy is none other than our tag team partner, Bob Holly.
Bob Holly?
No way. You never know who's going to show up to one night only. Bob Holly.
Boy, one of the bonus aspects of this one night only Hardcore Justice pay-per-view is the return to the ring of a man whose his nickname has been Hardcore. Multi-time Hardcore champion, Bob Holly, to join the Cowboy James Storm and Magnus.
Never before has he stepped foot in a TNA wrestling ring, and he's going to do it not only with that chair, with that garbage can, but he's going to do it with the Cowboy James Storm and Magnus as his tag team partners. Welcome to TNA, Bob Holly.
And I mean, JB, think through the years, all the stories that you have heard when it comes to Bob Holly and dealing with him inside the squared circle. You want somebody to get physical with Aces and Eights? I think that the Cowboy and Magnus made a great choice.
Well, if half the stories are true, if half the reputation is something he can live up to in the ring, the Aces and Eights are in for a major fight in this six-man elimination matchup.
I think Bob Holly recently released a book called The Hardcore Truth. How appropriate is that?
Yeah, it held nothing back. Wow, you want to read something opinionated. This guy, not afraid to share his thoughts on the business he has made quite a career of. Bob Holly teaming up with Magnus and the Cowboy James Storm. You got a little bit of everything with that team. We got some fight, we got some agility, we got some strength, got some downright brawlers in there. Not to be outdone by Doc, the director of Chaos, and look at the size of Nux. I mean, this guy, you say only a face a mother could love. I'm not so sure his mom could even stand this. Wow.
Lock it up, collar and elbow, mid-ring. As Holly had the early edge, but then, well, you talked about the size of Doc outside, the size of Nux. Bob Holly is a big guy, and you see the size, the height, the weight advantage of Nux, but quickly turned around and then shot off into the corner as Holly, and then squashed in the corner, and then brought out to the middle of the ring and dropped right on his back with the clothesline.
The thing you got to appreciate about Bob Holly is he just showed up. I mean, he literally just showed up. I'm ready to fight. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. He can wrestle.
Sounds like Bob Holly.
Jeans, tennis shoes, he don't care.
Wes Briscoe thought he was going to take the offense to Holly, who has different thoughts and different ideas. And you talk, whoa, put that one right between the uprights. We talked about Bob Holly just coming out here on short notice and joining the team of Storm and Magnus. I think that's advantage to the Cowboy and the Brit. Aces and Eights, they have had no way to game plan, no way to strategize against Bob Holly, who turns things over to the Cowboy James Storm.
You got to imagine never in a million years did the Aces and Eights think Bob Holly would show up of all people to compete in this one-night-only pay-per-view, but the Cowboy and Magnus made a phone call and they delivered.
And on a night of surprises, like Bob Holly, keep in mind that we're still waiting to find out who's going to face Team 3D later tonight. Huge tables match. We know that Brother Runt, formerly associated and formerly aligned, part of the 3D family, but no longer the case. We know that he has a special tag team partner in mind.
We have seen the numbers game, the advantage for the Aces and Eights time after time, but this is a situation where they can't prepare for what they're in store for. This matchup, our matchup later on tonight with Brother Runt, Aces and Eights need to be on their toes and expect the unexpected, as we've seen so far tonight.
Nice double team tactics by Storm and Magnus. And when you talk about the numbers game that Aces and Eights has employed to so much success in the past year in TNA, this could boil down to a numbers game setup because of the elimination rules aspect of this six-man tag.
No question about it. If you are Magnus, if you are Bob Holly, if you are the Cowboy James Storm, that advantage is so important. And with our first elimination, whoever it is certainly going to sway the tide of this match.
I think that's a great point. Once we get to that 3-on-2 aspect, even if it goes, can you imagine, to 3-on-1 at some point, then it would really be about the numbers game, but it's going to be a huge edge to that team that is able to get that first elimination, and the big boot drops Magnus right in his tracks.
How about the size of Nux? How about the size of Doc? Together have been very effective as a team. And throw in Wes Briscoe, we've seen what he can do. And who can forget when he turned his back on Kurt Angle at Lockdown and really turned over a new leaf in his career.
Yeah, Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, they have been joined at the hip when it comes to Aces and Eights, almost competing as a tag team, but tonight it's Briscoe joining forces with Doc and Nux. And Magnus was definitely weakened in the corner by those repeated right hands from Nux, and Magnus tries to fight his way out. But again, this is what Aces and Eights is so good at, cutting off the ring and using a double or triple team tactic.
Well, say what you want about Briscoe and Bischoff. A brilliant move for their careers to align themselves with the Aces and Eights. You got the numbers game, you have some experienced veterans, you have arguably the most decorated tag team in wrestling history. And since joining Aces and Eights, they have just been soaking up that knowledge and fitting in very well, as we've seen Wes Briscoe taking it to Magnus.
Yeah, but it was just the way that they did it. the way that they stabbed Kurt Angle right in the back. I think about that steel cage match over in England when we finally saw the true colors of Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff when they turned on a man who had spent months mentoring them, ensuring that they had a position and a place in TNA. And Kurt Angle certainly has not forgotten that as the beatdown continues. Magnus, boy, has just not had much offense for several minutes.
And you want to talk about even the arrival of the director of Chaos, Doc. I mean, all of the aces and eights arrived with complete anonymity, and that was their advantage for many, many months. We had no idea who they were, and once the mask came off, once the identification process started with the aces and eights, you were better able to scout who you were in the ring with, but up until that time, a huge advantage.
Magnus sent into the guardrail, courtesy of Nux. Bob Holly, that just had it up to here, and standing on that apron just watching aces and eights totally dissect Magnus. Boy, imperative at this point for Magnus to make his way through that invisible wall, get to the opposite side of the ring, and get either Storm or Holly in the match.
Certainly even within the ranks of aces and eights, there is a pecking order. We have seen that before. There are definite leaders, and there are guys trying to work their way up to that spot.
All starts with the boss, right?
No question. Bully Ray, as the president of the aces and eights,
and the world heavyweight champion.
You got to know Wes Briscoe is looking at this situation and seeing nothing but opportunity, seeing an opportunity to climb the ranks of this organization and his own in the aces and eights.
And how disappointing is it to see someone with the wrestling background, the wrestling pedigree of a Wes Briscoe? Very famous father and uncle, his dad, Jerry Briscoe, his uncle, Jack Briscoe, two of the greats in professional wrestling. Jack Briscoe, longtime NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And to see Wes Briscoe with that kind of a pedigree, to see him turn his back on someone like Kurt Angle and then join aces and eights, boy, what must his family, what must his dad think?
I guess we'll save the comparison of the pedigree of Garrett Bischoff for another time. But right now, it's Wes Briscoe going to work on Magnus in this six-man tag team matchup. Elimination rules, Mike. That means once somebody's eliminated, the advantage in the corner of the team with three participants in the match.
And judging by what we've seen in the opening minutes of this match, boy, you would just think that aces and eights are about to get the man edge here. Offensive assault continues on Magnus. Wes Briscoe opens up that ribcage area of Magnus, and that enables Doc to connect first with the boot and then snap off the suplex.
Magnus taking several minutes of just an outright beating here by aces and eights. You can see a big welt above his, it looks to be his right shoulder. And Magnus feeling the effects of this beatdown from the aces and eights.
Got to be difficult for Storm and Holly, not only to watch their partner being taken apart by aces and eights, but then to have in their back of the minds that they could be 2-on-3 against aces and eights unless Magnus is able to get out of the clutches of Big Doc.
And so far what we've seen with the aces and eights doing a number on Magnus many months back, the Cowboy, James Storm, Bob Holly, the great unknown, but certainly revenge at stake, a lot personally for these two in terms of Storm, Magnus doing something about aces and eights and able to get out of that choke slam by Doc.
And yeah, both men go for the clothesline. Both Magnus and Doc connect. Holly and Storm fired up, dying to get into this elimination tag. And if Magnus can just roll towards that corner, he could get one of these fresh men in. That's what they need. Storm legal. Tag is in to Wes Briscoe. And now the Cowboy on fire. Here comes the comeback. First, it's the inverted atomic drop. Bulldog style face plant. And then attention turned to Big Nux. Cowboy shot off into the ropes. And he's the one, James Storm, that explodes with the clothesline first.
The Cowboy on fire. You're talking about the importance of that fresh man in, Storm. Now making the tag to Bob Holly.
Holly sitting on ready. You can tell the crowd here in Orlando at the Impact Zone, they're ready for Bob Holly, and Bob Holly going to bring some weapons into play.
Whoa, wow. Completely legal, right over the top, and it's Bob Holly unleashing.
Come on, get up, Wes.
Dares Briscoe to get to his feet. As soon as he does, we just broke that weapon right over the head of Wes Briscoe.
And look at Nuts just delivering a boot. Look at the strength of Holly.
Seen that through the years on many occasions. It's garnered many victories for Bob Holly. And it's another one, and
Nuts
the 3
has
count.
been
Wait a minute.
eliminated.
Quick sneak up from behind. Wes Briscoe just eliminated Bob Holly.
has been eliminated.
And just like that, it boils down to a basic 2-on-2 tag match. Can Magnus get the pin? Yes!
Wes Briscoe has been eliminated.
3 rapid-fire eliminations, and now could it be a 4th?
Magnus chokeslam to the mat.
Magnus
And Magnus is out.
eliminated.
And now it boils down to the final 2 competitors in the 6-man tag. It's down to Big Doc. It's down to the Cowboy James Storm. These are the 2 men that are going to decide it.
I'll tell you what, it was rapid fire, changed the face of this matchup. In the course of about 45 seconds, the landscape of this one changed completely, and now it's Doc looking to get the win for his team. Elimination rules, and it's down to these 2, Storm and Doc.
Doc has bad intentions, rolling out to the floor and just cracks Storm over the head, which totally denting the trash can lid.
And Doc, that is most dangerous in a scenario like this, where it's a brawl. There are no rules. There are no restrictions.
Look at the Cowboys!
Quick cover here, drops straight down into the pin attempt, but amazingly to me, Storm able, I don't know if it was just on fumes or what, been able to get that shoulder rolled before the 3 count. I thought for sure Aces and Eights were going to put another one in the win column.
Oh, it's pure instinct at this point. Look out. Storm.
The cat has been skinned. Quickly, Cowboy flies right back into the ring and takes the massive Doc right down, put him on his back. Impact Zone, through the years, has seen the last call super kick garner many victories. Storm connects, stacks up Doc, gets the 3 count in the win.
About your damn luck.
Your winner, the Cowboy, James Storm.
We're going to go back. At Hardcore Justice, we're going to review this special 6-man elimination tag. All started with the entrance of Aces and Eights. Opposition provided by first Magnus, the Cowboy James Storm, and then their surprise tag team partner, Bob Holly, and things really broke down, JB, when Bob Holly introduced this weapon using that stick to take out all the members of Aces and Eights.
Well, this is when things got downright hardcore. As you see the work being done, it was this move that started the momentum, the fury of eliminations. Bob Holly now takes out Nuts. Right after that, it was Wes Briscoe capitalizing on an unsuspecting Bob Holly. It was Magnus with that right across the head and into the slam, able to get the 3 count on Wes Briscoe, but waiting for him seconds later was Big Doc and a bigger choke slam and a cover that was able to eliminate Magnus and make it 1-1. It came down to Storm and Doc, and the super kick was the last call for Doc, enough to get the pin and the win in this 6-man tag team elimination match. Storm celebrates tonight, as do the fans in the Impact Zone, with another victory for the Cowboy.
Very fitting that the Cowboy James Storm, here at Hardcore Justice, part of our one-night-only series, gains the win, not only using that last call super kick, but then a post-match celebration. And this is a nice touch. We're going to bring Bob Holly back in. Thank him for joining forces with the Cowboy and Magnus. And great to see Bob Holly in a TNA ring for the first time.
No question about it. Victorious, Magnus in as well. Big win in the six-man tag team matchup.
Now let's take a look at the history between Judas Macias and the Monster Abyss.